Well, Matthew Holt, we are headed into the holiday weekend celebrating the 4th of July with three pieces of news that sum up what it means to be an American. We've got a brand new SPAC, we've got Roe versus Wade fallout, and we've got Cerebral documents indicating more corporate crime than we ever thought possible. It's the July 1st episode of Health Tech Deals.
All right. So hang on. There were three things in the introduction there. Normally you struggle for one, but three. So first up, right, is a SPAC again. Remember SPACs?
From last summer, yeah, my favorite vehicle for taking a company public that shouldn't go public.
I think it's your favorite vehicle for taking Matthew Holt's money from this amount to this amount.
Also that.
I've even invested in some SPACs after they collapsed, and they still went down. Yeah, VC is going to be acquired by Digital Health Acquisition Corp, and not a very big deal, but they're going to merge with another company called something else. I forgot the name of the other company. iDoc. So VC is Milton Chang. It's like the tool for it's a tool in the background for a video conferencing, like video.
Okay.
But the whole thing's going to be allegedly worth 110 million after the SPAC, so hasn't got much to fall.
I love how, yeah, okay, irrational exuberance still surrounds the SPAC.
All right, hang on. Well, you mentioned there was some like Roe v.
Yeah,
Wade
two more reasons to be like, the microcosm of what it is to be an American today. With the irrational exuberance of SPACing out, and then the fallout from Roe v. Wade, and then the golden shining star of white collar crime that is Cerebral.
So yesterday I did a whole TCB gang. Roe v. Wade Dobbs came up a lot. A lot of it, this is going to be super interesting on telehealth, right? Because they said 50% of abortions now are done by drugs sent through the mail. The FDA under the Democrats now says it's not going to interfere, and the DOJ is not going to interfere with the mail. So but cross-border telehealth is becoming more and more illegal, right? Although some of the stuff comes around to the country, so who the hell knows? And Devin McGraw was on GCB Gang a while ago, and I replayed it on Twitter yesterday, basically saying that there is nothing in HIPAA stopping law enforcement subpoenaing records from HIPAA-covered entities like hospitals and clinics. So this has got, we are. Ian Morrison yesterday was calling this. It's we've gone worse than the Taliban, and it's gonna have impact on people in our little digital health space. All right. And your third one was what?
Cerebral.
Oh, well, that was on sweetness and light.
No, Blake Dodge and Business Insider, like 2,000 leaked documents. She's combing through this stuff. I mean, great article there.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's very comprehensive. I mean, so the good news is that Cerebral had like a way of raising issues and raising flags. The bad news is that like they, and by the way, many other mental health companies, they're good for depression, anxiety, and ADHD. But once you get somebody on the other end of the telehealth line who's got a lot more problems, is already in a bunch of drugs and is maybe suicidal or whatever, there's stuff they can do, but it's not like we had a perfect system. It's not like they appeared out of nowhere and there was a perfect system of bricks and mortar dealing with people with mental health, right? People already couldn't get access to mental health. If you were suicidal, you had treatment, you had to wait ages for counselors, had to go to emergency rooms. It was a real problem in the first place. And they couldn't find a good way to hand people off to that system. They didn't have good solutions to it internally. And they're getting beaten up in the press about it, rightfully so. But it's not like the world for mental health care was perfect before Cerebral showed up.
Right.
So, I give them, and David Moy, the CEO, is still trying to fight the good fight. I do think that they're done, because don't forget, they're trying to become, their latest spiel was they're going to try to become not ADHD or depression, anxiety. They're trying to become a place for people with severe mental illness, which, clearly they weren't able to deal with those people last year and earlier this year when this leak occurred. Although, it's quite interesting to leak. I hope there wasn't any PHI in the leak, because the leak was about, it sounds like there probably could have been. Anyway, interesting stuff.
Yeah, very much. All right, get your timer ready. Let's do some deals.
All right. Let's do some deals.
All right, ready? Picnic Health gets $60 million, brings their total up to $100 million. I feel like they've been very buzzy, but I don't quite understand what they do. Tell me.
Yeah, started as like a PHR. They're trying to sell PHR services, and they were around for a while, that female CEO. They've been around for a while doing that, but they seem to have somehow figured out a way to get big data sets and people to contend them. I need to look at this a bit more, but they're talking about longitudinal data belonging to all these people. So they're like everyone else, like, seeks to improve. God knows they're grabbing data from across the board and putting it in a place for patients to look at, then getting to add stuff in. And they're selling this to life sciences companies. So we'll see how it goes. It's a big round for a company.
Yeah, it's a big round. All right, Swing Therapeutics, which has a DTX for fibromyalgia, they get $10.3 million in a Series A. I know how much you love DTX, but what about for fibromyalgia?
Well, fibromyalgia is the right thing. It's a pain, a predominantly around pain, predominantly around women. Nothing works well for it. So it's a 12-week program. It has something called acceptance and commitment therapy. I met one of the VCs in this just the other day, and it sounds like it's a nice approach, and good luck to them. How it works out as a therapeutic, we'll see.
Okay, socially determined, which is social determinants of health analytics, they get more money. 26 million brings your total up to 37.
Now, your buddy Trina Williams in this one. This is more for the same. They are a lot like not providing services, providing analytics. Big deal with Care First Blue Cross of Maryland, who's both an investor and a client. Interesting play, is there a room for an analytics company just doing SDOH? They think so.
All right, travel nursing company Nomad Health gets 105 million, brings their total up to 200 million. This is such a hot space right now.
They're adding not just nurses, lab techs, physiotherapists, ultrasound techs. I don't know, there are so many of these companies and raising so much money. I mean, my God, every nurse in America must be worth $1 million.
What about Tomorrow Health? Did I get it in?
You got it in.
Awesome. All right. I wasn't sure. I couldn't quite hear. All right. Tomorrow Health gets 60 million in a B, brings their total to 92.5 million. There's a lot of great investors in this. Bonds in there with participation from Andreessen, Obvious, Box, and Sound Ventures.
Yeah. Bond is, by the way, if you forgot who they are the Kleiner Perkins people who walked off. So they're the big money part, Mary Meeker and those guys, those gals and guys from Kleiner Perkins, as it split apart. So that's a big vote. So they've grown over 300% in the last year. What it is it's a marketplace to match people who need home supplies with those home supplies. So helping that whole deal for like, how do you do home care with all the stuff you need, like got oxygen and DME and whatever. And the amount of money that's gone into home care, home staffing, all the rest of it, hospital at home, these guys are like the infrastructure behind that. So it's like, haven't really somebody else doing it. It's a very clever play. They're not, those H16Z people are not as dumb as you think. They picked this one up well.
They have a terrible track record.
Yeah, well, it's growing. It's a area where, you got to put the infrastructure in place. If you remember this genius thing that you did called the continuous clinic, it had like stuff and supplies going to the home. That line on the bottom of the little chart. This is it.
This is it. Exciting. I love that. I love more health in the home. That's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorite categories.
All right. Well, we talked about a lot of stuff in the home and out of the home, and there'll be more confusion about health in the home in 16 or 26 states, whoever it is, coming up very soon. Okay. It's been a wild week and a half since we last did this. A week.
For sure.
God.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
For sure. All right,
so you're on vacation.
I'm vanishing. So you can either give up on the show for a week and a bit,
what will I do?
Or you could find a takeover.
I can find a takeover, or I can give up. To cast your vote, head on over to Twitter and send me a direct message. I'm over there at Jess DaMassa. And if you want to find out where Bolty Boy is headed on vacation, I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of bitching about traffic or the airport or the lines at Colonial Williamsburg. So that fun can be found at Bolty Boy.
Give it away.
That's only one of the places you're going. There was a list.
It's not in DC. It's not that hot.
I mean, all right. Well, to follow the vacation exploits of him, head on over to @BoltyBoy on Twitter. And to never miss an episode of Health Tech Deals or WTF Health, head on over to thehealthcareblog.com and sign up for our email newsletter and get all of these episodes delivered directly into your inbox, along with the best of the articles that have been submitted to the blog through the week, or whenever we feel like sending it out.
Coming this weekend. Don't believe whatever Jessica
said. Woo! Right before vacation. Way to get it out. All right. Well, have a great time, Matthew. We'll see you when you get back.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.